And then this goes down.
Perfect. So then all that will come up.
Oh, perfect. Thank you so much. I appreciate that. Hello, everyone. Natasha was just helping me get set up so that I have my computer next to me to be able to view any questions that you guys may have. I'm just going to give it a second to let some more people join. Just want to make sure I've got all my supplies here. Okay, so I hope everyone is doing well today. And for those who are, you know, just rounding the corner to their weekend, happy Friday. Okay, perfect. Now I can see comments there. Hi, Kathy. Okay, you guys. So I'm excited to share with you guys a lovely new addition to our Clear as Mud crystal line. What I'm about to show you has been highly, a lot of people, you know, have asked me where I find my certain caviar beads, and a lot of people want us to carry them. So I'm pleased to announce, sorry, I just got distracted there for a second, and I do apologize if it's a little loud in the background. We do have a car mechanic place next to us that is unfortunately making a lot of noise today, so I do apologize in advance. So I want to introduce to you guys our beautiful new caviar beads that has now joined our Clear as Mud crystal range. So these caviar beads are amazing because we have 3 colors. So we have them in silver, rose gold, and gold. They do come in 4 sizes. So in this pinwheel, very convenient pinwheel, which I love because it keeps everything organized, all the sizes separated. There are 4 different sizes. So we have, you know, we have the large, medium, small, and extra small, which are perfect depending on what you guys are doing with your crystal design work. And for me, I love using all the sizes. And I find having these caviar beads are so important when doing specific designs with crystals because they act as a filler. They kind of fill in the little gaps in between the crystals when you're doing a full nail or little cuticle area with some crystals. They just add that little bit in between as a filler, which I love. The big ones I use primarily when I'm doing my cluster designs because especially with the pointed backs, there's a little bit more areas of gaps that I like to fill in so that, you know, hair and things don't get caught in your design. So I am super pleased that we have these in our line to use, and I'm going to demo them for you today if you guys aren't familiar with how to use them and how easy they are to use. And I just want to let you guys know these are genuine metal, so they're not plastic, so they will not bleed. There are some caviar beads out there that, depending when they hit top coat or certain gel products, they may bleed the color. These do not, which are super great. They do have a little bit of weight behind them, which I love because, you know, they're easy to use, easy to pick up with our blinger tool. You guys are going to love them. So I'm going to demo them for you today. They are available right now on our website, so they are available for purchase. You can find them under our art section where our Clear as Mud stones are. And we have them in silver, rose gold, and gold. But I think today I'm going to use silver because I want to start off by, I'm going to basically do the nail that I had on my little advertisement sheet, and I want to show you some of our latest crystals to our line, so you guys can see kind of like a Christmas festive design, because I know we're getting really close with all of that now, and I'm starting to see a lot of different Christmas nail art out there. Clients are starting to wear it, festive designs, so I thought this was very appropriate for today. And right now I'm just applying our gel polish number 44, white gel polish, and as you guys can see, it is super pigmented. I just applied a very thin coat. I'm going to do another thin coat as well, but this white is amazing. So we recommend using this not only just for full coverage, but using it as a paint on for French. You can use it for creating any nail designs, fine lines. Is very pigmented, so a little goes a long way. And then I think I'm going to come in and I'm going to add a little spruce to it, and I'm going to use number 88. So 88 is kind of like a frosted white, which I want to pair with it today as well. And then I'm going to use some of our crystals. I'm just going to pull in my, I have a little container which I keep all my crystals separated. So I'm going to use our red cyan today, and emeralds, and maybe some Colorado. I'm not sure. We'll see where my design goes today. And I'm also going to do some pointed back crystals for you guys to see as well. For those who maybe aren't really familiar with using the pointed backs, they're also beautiful to use in crystal clusters. So I'm just going to do one more polish coat here, and then I'm just going to take a look to see if we have any questions. Alrighty. And of course, with our gel polish or color gels, depending on what you're using, we always recommend a full 60-second cure in our LED light. Oh, I'm just taking a peek. Oh, and I see Frida. Hi, Frida. We just announced Frida. She is our newest distributor in Norway. So welcome to the team. We are super excited to have you. Today is the official day that we launched her. So that is super exciting to have her on our team as well. Okay. So with these pinwheels, it has an opening here. So they're it doesn't move like too easily, where if these get knocked or bumped, you're going to have an issue with it kind of moving over and having some of the beads spill out. So it's great. It's very secure, and you just twist it to whatever section you want to use your beads in. Sometimes I will take out a little bit if I'm doing a lot of design work, especially with different sizes, and I'll put it on my little platter so it's kind of all ready to go. But I really, really enjoy the big ones and the super tiny ones, so you guys can see. And they're very shiny, which is amazing. Okay. I'm going to do a thin coat of number 88. I just want to give it a frosted look, which is so nice. So you guys can use number 88 over top of any flat color to give it that frosted look, which is so nice. Just applying super thin just to give it that hint of sparkle, or if you wanted a little bit more solid, then you can apply 2 coats, just depending on what you are looking to do. But I always like to add a little bit extra sparkle factor. So what I'm going to do is I've got my blinger tool ready, which is one of my favorite tools. And on the other end, it's got the dotting tool. So this is the end that I use to pick up our stick-it. And then for those who aren't familiar with our Ugly Duckling stick-it, this is the gel that I use and that we recommend for applying crystals, embellishments. It's amazing for holding the tiniest embellishments, from like the crystal pixies to the tiniest little beads, the caviar beads that I'm going to use today. So our stick-it, I just want to show you guys here. You can kind of see it's a little bit gritty. Not too bad. Yeah, you can see it's a little bit gritty than typically it is, because unfortunately I had this in my car. And my car is very cold overnight, so it did kind of freeze a little bit. So if you guys are noticing that your stick-it has that gritty consistency, or maybe even completely solid frozen, no problem. You just have to warm it up with some warm water, and it will return back to its clear consistency, okay? But for using clusters, like how using the bigger stones, I like using it with this kind of consistency because it holds the stones nicely. So it's not that you can't work with it the same way. It works just as good, and you'll have no issues with your stones falling off. Just to let you guys know that. So now I am going to be applying a bigger crystal cluster. So in this case, I want to finish off my gel polish with a no wipe top coat. You don't have to. You can apply the stick-it directly over top of the inhibition layer of the gel polish or color gel that you are choosing to use, or you can finish with a no wipe top coat first before application. So I'm going to try and apply my stick-it neat in where I need it to go so that there isn't any extra stick-it exposed. So you can apply it either way, completely up to you. So that was our Ugly Duckling no wipe top coat. Now I'm gonna get my crystals all ready to go. So these are our lovely pointed backs. So we have various shapes and sizes for the pointed backs. They are beautiful. Clarity is amazing. Today I'm going to use our clear. So we have our pointed backs in clear, AB, we have them in rose opal, white opal, as well as champagne. So great options for those. And I'm just gonna take out what I think I'm gonna use for this design so that I can move my tray to the side. So the ones I'm pulling out here are just the smaller ones because I want to keep it a smaller cluster design and not go too big. All right, so I'm going to take those out. And then I'm going to finish with some flat backs using our red stones, our Siam, emeralds, and Colorado. So these, I'm just going to keep this tray all together. I'm just going to show you here the ones that we have. I'm going to use most of these and maybe fill it in with some crystals, flat backs also. And for those who don't know, right now we do have our amazing 6-pack Christmas colors on special right now for 20% off, and you do receive a free pack of 144 of our red and green assorted pack crystals. So that's kind of a little bonus right now. All right. So all that information you guys can take a look on our website under our deals section. Okay, I just love the way that frosted looks here. It is so beautiful. So I'm going to start by applying the stick it in the areas that I am going to be putting my stones on first. It's very important when you're using the stick it, that's right, stick it, to apply just in the areas that you're going to apply the crystals firstly. You don't want to be putting on too much of the stick it and then, you know, putting some crystals on and feeling like you need to maybe cure it, because what happens is if you have too much in one area and you need to cure a certain section, if you cure it, you're going to cure a whole lump of stick it. So I recommend just applying it in the area that you're going to be applying the stones first and then doing gradual cures in between. So I'm going to start with my cluster directly in the center and just pick up my stones where I want it to go. Now, the only time I ever really need to use a lot of stick it is when I'm using the pointed back crystals. That's just to really make sure that they are on there securely and that they're not going to go anywhere. When you notice I'm going to apply the stick it for the flat backs, I'm not going to use as much because we don't want that stick it to kind of overpower or come over top of the crystals and kind of make them look like they're sinking. So I'm just going to pick up my pointed backs and just place them together like that. And I'm going to show you, this is where all the bigger size caviar beads are really nice, because anytime there may be bigger gaps in between some of these pointed backs, those bigger caviar beads fit nicely. So this is great because that stick it is a bit thicker because it's cooler. It's been frozen. So my crystals are just sitting there and they're not moving, which is perfect. Exactly what I want. Now I'm going to come over and I'm going to get my larger beads ready. So you guys can see here. And then they're so tiny that the wax tip picks them up no problem. And I'm just gonna, there goes one. Might have been a little big for this one. So I'm just gonna kind of push it in. And then nope, this one's too big. So the large one is not gonna work for me. So I'm gonna go to the other side and grab a medium size instead. And there we go, place it right in the center. So those beads are great to fill in any gaps in between the product. I use these beads with every single design I do. And they're beautiful because they're shiny, so they're going to really complement those crystals nicely. As you can see, I might add a couple more here and there. I'm going to set that down. I'm going to try to pick up some more. I'm going to put these bigger ones just tucked up, as you can see. And it's nice having a variety of sizes that you can use in your design work. just like that. Tuck it in. I'm happy with that. I hope it's clear. Hope everything's okay. Because sometimes, and I'm going to put that into our lamp, I'm just going to do a quick cure, you guys. Just a quick cure, just to hold it in place. And then I'm going to continue to work my crystals outwards. Sometimes working with the crystals, the camera can't focus correctly, so I hope everything is okay. It looks fine. Christine, you finally made this. Oh, you finally made it to watch. Perfect. It's always nice to watch them live, even though we do have them saved on our wall, so you can always watch them back when you do have time. Are orders taking longer to get out? Yes. Unfortunately, we have recently been notified by our shipping companies that there are major delays. And certain shipments can only be shipped out by air. So we do appreciate everyone's patience with the orders, and we are doing our best on our end to get them out as quick as possible. However, it is taking a bit longer for orders to get to people. But if you have any questions, feel free to reach out to us directly on that. Okay, so now what I'm going to do is I'm just going to kind of work in one section first, like I had mentioned, because what happens sometimes is if you put too much shtick in one area and then you need to cure it, you can't until all that shtick is completely covered. So I'm just going to apply a very thin amount. You don't want too much, but then again, you don't want too little. If you're noticing that you're having any loss of embellishments, it could just mean that your shtick, you don't have quite enough on there. And once you get familiar with application, it's a breeze. Crystals, caviar beads, they stay on. Clients are coming back, 3-4 weeks later with no crystal loss, and they are very easy to remove also. Okay, so let's start to add some, I'm going to add some fun red ones here. Give it a little bit of color. You guys can hear all the beads falling off on the ground. So I'm just going to add some, they're just so beautiful and so sparkly. They are gorgeous. So our sizes, SS 10, 12, and 16, all come in 16 facets. So they're going to have that sparkle factor. And then the crystals below it, 3, 5, 8, will be 8 facets, but they're still very sparkly and gorgeous. Now I'm just going to work with some of the smaller ones. This is where I would use the smaller caviar beads to go in between some of the smaller crystals as fillers. And it's interesting, actually. I was looking back at a few sets of nails that I did probably like 3 or 4 years ago when I did a full contact crystal nail, and that was before I started using beads. And it was like, oh, all I could see is like the little spots in between the crystals that I could see the gel polish through. And I was like, oh no, like you can totally tell like how crystal placement and having the littlest, tiniest embellishments really help to pull a design together and finish it off nicely. So we had many requests to supply the little caviar beads, so I'm happy that we have 3 options of colors to use. Also, silver I find I probably grab a lot more of, and I use a lot more of, just depending on what stones I am using. But I tend to use a lot of the silver and the rose gold. Oh yeah, that's pretty. All right. So I'm just going to work on one section, then what I'll do is cure that when I'm happy. Once you cure it, that's it. You can't move stones around. It is set. So really make sure you're happy with the design before you put it into the lamp to fully cure. And also too, just a little tip. What I like to do is when I'm finished doing crystal designs on my clients, I will just take my finger and just lightly rub over top of all the little guys just to make sure that they're in place well. And that way, you can tell if any are going to fall off, they'll fall off when you do that. Okay, and then I'm just going to stick one, let's go for a medium one. So those were small. Right there, I felt like that was kind of a little bit of a hole that I want to fill in. Just like that. Okay, I'm going to stick that into the lamp for a quick cure, just 10 seconds or so, just to hold it in place. And then once we're completely done with our design, that's when I recommend doing a full 60 seconds. All right. Have you guys, now for those who are watching, have you guys tried our clear as mud crystals at all? And if so, which ones are your favorite? We have lots of different options to choose from in our flatbacks. I know flatbacks are the most popular and mostly used with clients. And we do have a great selection of pointed backs also. Okay, so I'm going to take that out. We're going to finish the design. So now, the reason why, let's go back to why I chose to put the no wipe top coat on first. Our Stick-It does have a slight inhibition layer when it's fully cured. So that means once it's fully cured and we're done with our design, you're going to have to either coat it with a no wipe top coat or cleanse it slightly. So generally speaking, in this case, I wouldn't have to cover anything with no wipe. I could either cleanse it or take a smaller detail brush and just kind of go in between the crystals if I felt necessary to coat that Stick-It. We just want to make sure that we're not leaving that without being cleansed or, you know, having the no wipe top coat on top, because what will happen is, like, over time that Stick-It area will get dirty and you can see little dirt in between the crystals because everything will just stick to the tacky layer. So just so you know, the Stick-It does have a tacky layer when it's fully cured. So it's completely optional on what you want to do. I'm going to put a big stone. Let's do one of our SS16 in the emeralds. Just going to tuck it up in there. This is beautiful. I love the green and red. Gorgeous. And I am using some of our Colorado stones also here. So those are the ones that you're seeing. Now, I don't know about you guys, but I could do this all day. For me, it's very relaxing applying crystals. But I also know that it can be frustrating also. So if you are doing these for your clientele, your clients are, you know, sending you pictures, this is what they want for their nails, it's really important to make sure you're booking ample time, because certain designs do take a lot longer than a basic crystal application, maybe around the cuticle area. And I personally have run into that issue where, you know, I thought I had enough time, but, you know, to do a beautiful design really does take time. So I just recommend that you give yourself enough so that you're not stressed out when you come to this part of the nail service. Okay, so now what I like to do is I also like to kind of finish it off by, I kind of put a couple dots here and there, and then I'll finish by putting a bead over top, just to kind of blend it out a little bit. So as you can see, I'm just putting a little bit. It's just a super tiny dot. And then I'm going to move to some of the smaller ones also. And this is why I love having multi-sizes. So pretty. So pretty. Okay. Almost done here. So for those who are looking for some festive colors, we have our 6-pack of gel polish on special for this month. And you do receive 20% off plus a free pack of assorted red and green crystals. So that's also a little bonus. Perfect time of year to offer that for your clients. Okay, I'm just going to do one more. And then I'm going to do a final cure. Just kind of knowing when to stop. Okay, so let's do a full cure on that one. And I just bring my detailer brush out because I want to show you guys what I mean by filling in between the crystals. Give me 1 second here. I just gotta grab it. Just to make sure that we have no issues with the Stick-It collecting dirt. Just gonna put a little bit. Actually, no, I do have my palette here. Our lovely crystal palettes. Just great for mixing colors. And in this case, I just put my no wipe right on top of the palette when I'm going to use it. All right, just looking through to see if I've missed anything. Alrighty, so now what I'm going to do is I'm taking our fine detailer brush. I switch in between the detailer or the detailer 2, just depending on how small the space is that I have to work with. And I'm just going to take a little bit of our no wipe top coat on the brush, and I'm going to carefully go in between each of the crystals. Okay, so, and that is just to kind of coat over top of the Stick-It, any exposed Stick-It, so that we can cover that tacky layer. As well. But again, like I mentioned, you can cleanse if you choose to. But for me, sometimes it's just as easy to take my brush out and just go in between the crystals. And I also find too, especially with the little beads, it kind of reinforces them a little bit also. So doing that will kind of give them reinforcement. So you can see how I tuck the bead right on top. They're great as fillers. I absolutely love them. All right, and then we're gonna do last cure and it's all done. Okay, so do you guys have any questions for me? Just gonna put on my, it's great with all our brushes and tools. We have lids to protect them. So I want to show you guys again, we have our 3-color Caviar beads now available on our website. They have the convenient pinwheel for turning. Actually, come to think of it, see, this is what I always do and I always lose them. Gotta remember to turn it back so that you don't lose any of the beads. 4 different sizes in each wheel. They are genuine metal, so they will not bleed. They are not plastic. So the quality is very, very good. All right, let's take a final peek here at our design. So there you have it. Our caviar beads are now in addition to our beautiful clear smudge crystals. So you guys can take a look on our website at uglyducklingnails.com. We have all of our crystals laid out in our flat backs, our different sizes. We have flat back shapes. We have pointed backs. We have an amazing, beautiful line of crystals that you guys can choose from as well. They are just stunning. Very, very shiny. The clarity is amazing. And we carry our crystals in SS3, SS5, SS8, 10, 12, and 16. Just so you guys know. Just going to take a look. If we have any questions before I end it for today. Again, feel free, if you guys have any questions at all for us, feel free to reach out anytime. We are here for your support. You can reach us through email at our contact@uglyducklingnails.com email. Again, that email can be found and our contact information on our website at uglyducklingnails.com. Hi, Anya. How you doing? Just searching back here. I think we're good. Okay, you guys. And again, take a look at our website for any deals, promotions that are going on for the month. And our pinwheel caviar beads can be found in our art section alongside our clear smudge crystals. So I guys hope you guys are excited about the new edition, because I certainly am. I use these quite a lot in all my crystal work, so you guys can also. All right, I think we're good. Oh, let me see here. I hope I'm not missing anything, you guys. Okay. All right, I think that's good, you guys. Yeah, reach out if you have questions at any time. We're here for support. I hope you guys have a wonderful weekend ahead, and we will see you next week. Lots of love from Christical, and take care, you guys. Bye for now.